You have felt it before, even if you could not name it. You walk into a room, you speak clearly, you are intelligent, you are prepared, and yet somehow, you leave feeling smaller than when you entered. No one insulted you. No one raised their voice. No one rejected you directly. And still, something subtle has occurred. You were present, but you were not positioned. You were heard, but you were not weighted. You were included, but you were not central. That is not a language failure. That is not an intelligence failure. That is a cultural decoding failure. Welcome to the British Cultural Decoder. I am Grace, the Trinity English scholar. My task is not to entertain you. My task is to install structural clarity so that you can operate at high resolution inside systems that reward subtlety over noise. If you are serious about mastering English at executive depth, download today's PDF. It contains the structural mapping of indirect speech, positional weighting exercises, and applied drills that transform passive politeness into institutional authority. And if this channel sharpens your perception, like and subscribe. We do not chase volume here. We build architecture. Today we begin with a fundamental principle. British communication is not soft. It is compressed power. It is governance through understatement. The surface appears gentle. The substructure is decisive. If you decode only the surface, you will misread intention. If you decode the substructure, you will control outcomes. The common person on YouTube often believes that British English is simply more polite. They hear phrases such as perhaps, maybe, I'm not sure, or that might be difficult, and they assume uncertainty. That assumption produces strategic error. In British institutional culture, politeness is not hesitation. It is a delivery mechanism. In high-context systems, direct confrontation is inefficient. Authority is preserved through tonal compression. Instead of saying, this is wrong, the British executive might say, I'm not entirely convinced this aligns with the objective. That sentence is not a suggestion. It is a veto. But because the language is softened, the untrained listener continues arguing. That is when invisibility begins. You have experienced this. You were told, that's interesting, and you assumed approval. You were told, we'll think about it, and you assumed a future discussion. You were told, that may be ambitious, and you assumed encouragement. And then nothing happened. The project died. The invitation never came. The promotion moved elsewhere. The Trinity architecture does not react to tone alone. It interprets structure. When someone says, that may be challenging, Trinity asks, is this an operational constraint or a cultural refusal? When someone says, perhaps later, Trinity asks, is this deferred approval or strategic closure? Your task is not to become aggressive. Your task is to become literate in hidden governance. British cultural communication operates through three structural mechanisms: indirect negation, positional softening, and institutional distance. These mechanisms are not random habits. They are systemic. Indirect negation replaces explicit refusal with moderated language. Instead of no, you receive, I'm not sure that's quite right. The word quite reduces confrontation while preserving dismissal. The sentence functions as a boundary. If you push past it, you are perceived as socially unaware. Positional softening reduces the speaker's apparent dominance while maintaining real control. For example, I might be wrong, but perhaps we should revisit the timeline. The clause I might be wrong does not indicate doubt. It neutralizes ego resistance. The directive remains intact. Institutional distance ensures that decisions appear collective rather than personal. We may need to reconsider distributes authority across the system. It protects hierarchy. If you respond emotionally, you are responding to a structure, not an individual. And that is a losing move. The Trinity model does not strip away politeness. It recalibrates it. You learn to detect where real authority sits inside indirect phrasing. You learn to respond at the same structural altitude. You stop reacting to surface softness. You engage the underlying decision layer. This is governance literacy. Walk through 1. Everyday context. Imagine a scenario. You suggest a restaurant to a British colleague. They respond, "Oh, that's an interesting choice. It might be a bit busy though." Non-Trinity scholars approach. "Oh really? I didn't think it would be busy. It has good reviews and I've been wanting to try it. If it's busy we can wait, that's fine. Or maybe we can call and check. I'm sure it'll be okay." Trinity scholars approach. Understood. It sounds like you're indicating a preference shift. Would you like to propose an alternative? Our analysis is that the non-Trinity response treats the comment as logistical uncertainty. It attempts persuasion. It argues data. It misses the encoded refusal. The phrase "interesting choice" signals distance. The clause "might be a bit busy" is not forecasting crowd density. It is declining the proposal without confrontation. The Trinity response interprets the subtext immediately. It reframes the moment as a decision transfer. It does not defend. It clarifies direction. Authority is preserved. In everyday life, these micromoments determine relational positioning. If you consistently argue against indirect refusals, you appear socially blunt. If you decode them calmly, you move with the system. Walkthrough 2. Professional context. Imagine a scenario. In a meeting, you present a new operational idea. A senior manager responds, "I'm not entirely convinced this aligns with where we're heading." Non-Trinity scholars approach. "Can you explain what part doesn't align? Because from my perspective it supports the overall strategy. Maybe I didn't explain it clearly, but I think if we look at the data you'll see it actually fits quite well." Trinity scholars approach. "Thank you. If alignment is the concern, would you prefer that we remap it explicitly to the current objective, or pause advancement entirely?" Our analysis is that "not entirely convinced" is a structural veto. It is not a request for clarification. The non-Trinity response defends content and implies the manager misunderstood. That subtly challenges hierarchy. The Trinity response does not contest the veto. It accepts the authority signal and requests procedural instruction. This protects institutional alignment. It also forces the manager to specify whether the idea is revisable or terminated. Precision replaces defensiveness. Professional invisibility often emerges when competence is paid with structural naivete. You may be correct technically and misaligned culturally. The Trinity scholar never confuses those layers. Walkthrough 3. Crisis context. Imagine a scenario. During a project crisis, a British executive says, "This is becoming slightly problematic." Non-Trinity scholars approach. "Slightly? It's more than slightly problematic. We're behind schedule, the client is unhappy, and we need immediate escalation. I think we should call this what it is and act urgently." Trinity scholars approach. Acknowledged. If problematic signals material risk exposure, shall we initiate the contingency protocol now? Our analysis is that, in British institutional language, understatement increases with severity. Slightly problematic during crisis can indicate significant concern. The non-Trinity response corrects tone. It escalates emotionally. It implies the executive is minimizing reality. That is reputationally dangerous. The Trinity response translates understatement into operational clarity. It names risk exposure without contradicting hierarchy. It converts tone into action. That is governance fluency. In crisis, misreading understatement leads to miscalibration. Trinity calibrates immediately. Key takeaways. British politeness is not weakness. It is compressed authority. When you decode only words, you miss intention. When you decode structure, you engage power accurately. Indirect language is a filtering mechanism. It protects hierarchy from unnecessary confrontation. If you push against it naively, you position yourself outside the system. If you respond structurally, you are seen as culturally fluent. The Trinity scholar does not become louder. The Trinity scholar becomes clearer. You do not abandon politeness. You align it with precision. Remember this, surface softness often masks firm boundaries. Learn to hear the boundary. Then respond at the same altitude. Homework. Open today's PDF. The first exercise is indirect phrase mapping. You will take 10 common British expressions and classify them as approval, deferred approval, soft refusal, or hard refusal. Do not rely on tone memory. Focus on structural cues. The second exercise is positional response rewriting. You will rewrite defensive replies into Trinity-calibrated responses that preserve hierarchy while clarifying action. This drill builds reflexive precision. The final exercise is crisis compression. You will convert understated executive language into explicit operational steps without altering tone. This trains governance translation. Complete the drills aloud. Authority is auditory before it is semantic. Your voice must carry stability, not apology. This is the British Cultural Decoder. We do not guess. We decode. We do not react. We govern. If this framework sharpened your perception, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and continue building structural literacy. I am Grace, the Trinity English scholar. And now, you see what others miss.